Here we have a 2018 Honda Accord EXL with a 1.5 liter turbo. The complaint is check engine light on, vehicle runs rough, and on the bottom here it says recently replaced intake boot, fuel injectors, and mass airflow sensor. I'm not sure whether they were at another shop or when this was done, but that's a note on the sheet that they've already replaced fuel injectors, intake boot, and the mass airflow sensor. We're going to start with a scan, again, a full vehicle scan, and I can see on the dash here that warnings are on. We've got stability assist warning, as well as with the check engine light. Now on these vehicles with some engine failures, these lights will come on. All of these collision mitigation and things like that, they all need information from the engine control module to work properly. If that information from the engine control module is not correct, or there's codes in there, these systems shut down and they'll warn you on the dash that they're not working. So there may be other codes in there, but in the past I've seen that with the check engine light on, it could all be related to the check engine light. So we're going to do, like I say, a full scan, and we'll just see what's going on with this car, and I'm going to keep in mind what they have replaced. We'll do a health report. Yeah, some ABS codes, electric power steering codes, engine codes. Just let it finish its scan here. Okay, let's get the report on this. Okay, fuel system 2 lean at idle. Turbocharger boost sensor circuit, Ranger performance. Fuel system 2 lean at idle again, and turbocharger. Okay, so we've got turbo codes and lean codes in the engine. There's a low tire pressure, ECM failure in anti-lock brake system, and a VSA system malfunction, which is your ABS, anti-lock, things like that. Okay, well, again, let's see if this is actually running lean right now. I've got it idling right now. They complain about running rough. It's not running rough. I can take it for a drive and double check that how it runs, but I haven't got that far yet. I'm just going to check the fuel trim. So here's my fuel trim readings, and yes, my short-term fuel trim, it's idling right now. I've got 46%. So this engine control module is adding fuel 46%. So it's seeing a lean condition and trying to add fuel to compensate for that. I think what I'm going to do is get under the hood, just have a quick visual inspection under the hood, look for any major vacuum leaks, anything that I can see under there. Okay, I don't hear any major vacuum leaks. Looks like, yes, they did replace the air intake boot. The mass airflow sensor does look new, like they said. I don't see anything off. None of these crankcase vent hoses off. Everything looks connected. I don't hear anything hissing. Nothing like that. So I might end up smoke testing this intake, but I think what I'll do first is find out, because they replaced the injectors, I'm going to find out if these injectors are new, used, or maybe Amazon. The reason I'm going to find out about these injectors is I haven't looked it up yet, but I think there's a service bulletin. These injectors do fail and they cause an issue. Now, if they've replaced these injectors, one with used ones, they've probably got bad ones in there or the wrong ones. And if these injectors are available on Amazon, something like that, chances are they're not right for the vehicle, or they're just maybe still causing a problem. So I'm going to find out whether this is something that's they put dealer parts or not, and I'm going to go from there first, because chances are they did have an injector problem and they still do. I was able to get my camera down in behind, just underneath the intake manifold, and get a picture of one of the injectors. I'm not going to focus on this now because that injector, the brand on it, is what Honda dealer item actually is and what they put in. It doesn't mean that is Honda part, but it looks like it is, so I'm not going to focus on that for now. So I've cleared the fuel trim. I'm going to start it here and just see what it does. Start it up and just watch the fuel trim. Oh, actually now I do notice the engine running a little bit. Oh, and there we go. The short-term fuel trim is just starts adding fuel instantly. This something is just very, very lean on this engine. Air leak somewhere, something along those lines, or maybe faulty injectors, wrong injectors, something like that. Just because they have replaced them, I don't know what problem that they were chasing before they replaced these parts, whether it was the same problem or maybe they had a misfire problem and now they've got a lean problem. We'll have to look into that deeper. Before going any further, I thought I'd just look at my mass airflow sensor reading on the scanner. It is showing like 0.6, roughly 0.6 grams per second. That's way too low. There's almost no air. It's almost reporting almost zero air going past that mass airflow sensor. So whether it's a problem with the mass airflow sensor itself or the air is actually not passing there, so it's maybe engines ingesting air from somewhere else past the mass airflow sensor, that could be the problem, or the mass airflow itself is just not reporting right. Let's get under the hood and see what we see there. Okay, I'm going to unplug the mass airflow sensor and see what my fuel trim readings do. Okay, so with the mass airflow sensor unplugged, my fuel trim reading come down within a normal range. Air filter in here. I feel no air coming in through the air intake, like zero. I feel nothing. There has to be a huge leak somewhere in this air intake system. Because it seemed like such a huge leak, I decided to check, do a better visual inspection of the intercooler and all the main pipes. I took the belly pan down a little bit and just looked up inside, and I saw a loose clamp like just sitting in the middle of the intercooler hose. Once I reached my hand up there, I could tell the intercooler hose was right off of the intercooler. So I'm gonna get that hooked back up and we'll see what happens there. I'm sure this is gonna be the issue. Now, with the intercooler line reattached, I'm just going to have a look here, start it up, and we'll see how these fuel trim readings go now. Already with the engine running, I don't feel it running rough. Oh, that looks good there. So I just went for a good test drive, watching the fuel trim on my test drive. Fuel trim is staying great. So this Honda has been to more than one shop for this complaint. The mass airflow sensor, the air intake boot, and the injectors were replaced for this complaint. And really, once I confirmed the customer's complaint that it was running rough, and I found out that it was running very lean, it was really only a good visual inspection that fixed this car. It's very quick diagnosis and quick repair. I think the last time I put injectors in one of these 1.5 liter Hondas, parts alone I think were around the $1,000 mark. So but it's done and fixed. Another one done.